Hello, my dear co creators. I am sharing something that I find so powerful and that supports us in blaming ourselves and other people less and realizing that we're all just having physiological responses to perceived threats. And it's called the amygdala hijack. And this is just so cool to me. So okay, hold on. I'm gonna share the screen and I'm gonna show you this. Okay. Oops. Okay, can you see that? I hope so. Oops. Okay, let's see. We want to not show this. Okay, so let's get this here. Oh my goodness, so many things. This all popping up for you, or are you not seeing this? Um, okay, sorry, friends. Technology learning curve, because I do not edit these out. So at some point, I will learn how to do that. Okay. So this I think we don't need. Okay. I don't know how much of that you saw, but hopefully you didn't see all of it. Okay. So when a person is in a state of stress, they're having the defense response, right? Their system is like threat detected. Okay. Threat detected could be something from this current lifetime, but it could be like some match from 7 lifetimes ago. So we may or may not even have any knowledge that this thing that is happening, for example, smelling French fries, has anything to do with danger, but our system does. So what happens is the amygdala throws out the signal and says, threat detected, go into defense mode. And the amygdala hijack is when this happens with like in an automatic response. Okay, so it's like, this is very serious, we don't have time to think about it, so it cuts off. You can see right here, it takes the input in from the visual cortex. It could also come in from the auditory or from the touch or from any of the senses. Okay, so the sensory information comes in and skips the prefrontal cortex and goes straight to the motor cortex. So it's the amygdala hijacks the regular pathway, which in the regular information, we get in the sensory information and then it pops us to the prefrontal cortex. And the prefrontal cortex or the frontal lobe goes, let's make a logical decision. And then it sends information to the motor cortex about what kind of action you want to take. Okay, in an emergency or a perceived emergency, and that's the important word. When your body perceives it as an emergency, it does the amygdala hijack. So it says, no time for prefrontal cortex. I'm going straight to motor. And that's what we call a reaction. Okay, so a reaction is when you're like, no time, no possibility. The amygdala literally shuts off your access to the prefrontal cortex. It's like there is a tiger running towards us. We don't have time to have a conversation about it. So I am going to cut off your access to the language center of the brain, the executive function, decision making, all of that. Okay. So the wise mind decision is not possible, right? So the um the organized response is not able to happen. Okay, so the organized, like logical, wise mind, all those things are prefrontal cortex. So when we're under that stressful moment of the perceived threat, we may have a reaction before we even have time to support ourselves, right? That's something that can be very frustrating for people. Like the other day when I almost got in a car accident, I cursed and I swerved and I put on the brakes. And that ended up being very helpful because I really was in a life or death situation. And I'm so glad that my amygdala hijacked me and took me away from the prefrontal cortex. But when I drop a plate and shatter a plate and yell at my kid, and curse at my kid and then, you know, like throw something else because I'm upset, then I'm not happy that I had an amygdala hijack, right? And so that's when repair comes in. And over time, when we practice nervous system regulation, exercises, and when we practice mindfulness, and when we start to like slow ourselves down and have a more toned vagus nerve, we do often get to the point of having more time to think about our responses and formulate them. But until then, we may get hijacked, have a reaction, and then need to say, okay, what just happened? How am I feeling? Okay, I realize that I'm really mobilized because I got freaked out. And my amygdala hijacked me. I'm going to now do some deep breathing. I'm going to now take a walk. I'm going to now put some cold water on my wrists or my face to support myself in coming back to my prefrontal cortex so that I can, support myself in whatever needs to happen, make decisions about any repair that I need to do. So I might need to check in, with my kid and say, hey, I'm really sorry I got startled. And I had a nervous system reaction and I apologize. And is there anything that I can do to support you? Because now I've probably created an amygdala hijack in you, right? So, what's so exciting about this to me is that we get to forgive ourselves and others when we see that we were absolutely innocent. Our physiology took over, and it was not a higher soul decision. It wasn't a character trait, it was a physiology. Okay. Just like when you put your hand on a stove, you pull it away, and you're never going to like blame yourself for pulling away, right? That wouldn't make sense. That's just a reaction that comes from this amygdala hijack. So it can be helpful to understand the like a little bit more of the science of it, because then some of us are going to be more willing to see ourselves as innocent and to see the people around us as innocent. So when you see somebody who's having a big reaction, you can support yourself and remind yourself, hey, they're having an amygdala hijack. And like, what do I need to do to take care of myself? And can I consider not taking it personally? Right. And that doesn't mean that you're gonna stick around with people who all the time have an amygdala hijack and create, um, things that don't work for you in your life. Um, but it can help to not hold on to the story of like they're a bad person, right? It makes it easier for you because once you get into they're a bad person, then you get amygdala hijack, and it's just amygdala hijack, amygdala hijack, amygdala hijack. We're just ping ponging nervous systems, like I say. So I hope this was helpful. I'm going to link an article that tells a little bit more about amygdala hijack. And I'm also going to link some tools for when you're feeling dysregulated, how to support yourself. And I think that's it. Okay. I love you so much. And I'll see you again soon.